What's up YouTube, welcome back to another video in this channel. So today we have the Honda CBR 650F. I know you might be quite surprised that why am I riding a motorcycle which is like launched few years ago and it has been discontinued. This has been replaced by the CBR 650R. So why am I riding this now? Because of two reasons. Yes, this motorcycle still holds a very good value in second-hand market, and second thing is like this runs on an Acra power exhaust. So I just want to know whether I'll be liking an Acra if I put the same exhaust on my CBR 650R. It's a testing for me. By the way, do let me know if you like the exhaust sound of the motorcycle in the comment section, and let me know if I should upgrade to this one. Honestly, I don't need a very loud exhaust. That's why I'm just testing it out whether I like it or not. So let's get into the review. Basically, there are few motorcycles which inspired me to buy a superbike. One of them is this, the CBR 650F, and another one major contender was the Kawasaki Z800. When I saw the Z800 for the first time, I'm like, yes, this is a beautiful motorcycle. I wanted to buy it. Then I was like very much doubtful. I was like, should I go for that and all? Then I saw this motorcycle. Like, this is sports motorcycle, inline 4, 650cc, very practical to ride inside city, good tourer, everything, which was matching all my requirements. So that's why I thought that I'll buy the 650F. By then, the 650F got discontinued and 650R came in. So Honda is like, every time they make a hype on their motorcycle and they just sell like 20 pieces or 30 pieces. So I don't want to miss it out. That's why I bought the 650R. So let's come back to this motorcycle. So first of all, the looks of the motorcycle, debatable if you like the front section or not. Honestly, I'll say that I really love it, especially this one. This comes with a full LED light. By the way, this is the 2018 model of 650F, which is the last sold version in India. And coming on to this side and all, it really looked well. Okay, the black color is the most beautiful one in the entire paint scheme. Actually, when the motorcycle actually launched, there were just only one color option available, which is the tricolor, which I personally feel that it was like a uniform for the CBR 650F. Honda really didn't give any other color. So when the next revision came in, yeah, just like Honda do for all other motorcycles, they came with paint schemes. So Honda bought in two more colors, which is the black one and the red one. The red one also looked good, but the black one is like just sexy. So coming onto the side, you can see the engine over there. The coating and everything is in bronze. And yes, this runs on Acra Powich. There is no sticker, by the way, but it's a true Acra Powich full system exhaust. By the way, this review might be a little longer because I've been riding this motorcycle for 2-3 days. But I have a good experience with the motorcycle previously, so I might talk a lot. I might digress to a different topic as well sometimes. So that's why the video can be a little longer and boring. But if you are interested in this motorcycle, do stay with me. Find a time, watch it later. That's what I say. So yes, looking around, coming onto the tail section, I'll say that it's kind of okay. It is decent. It looks nice. That's all. But the front section looks beefy. It looks nice. By the way, this comes with a single seat like this. It's not a split seat and all. So if you have to remove the rear seat, you have to take the entire seat off if you have to take some papers or check the battery and all. So that's how it is. And the seat is actually very well cushioned. I really like it. This is more comfortable than the CBR 650R's seat. So hopping on, it's not a very tall motorcycle. Planted foot on both sides. If I had to sit a little backwards, which is my touring posture, then I don't have planted foot on both sides. But otherwise, yes, it's not that tall motorcycle. And looking onto the handlebar switches and all, this is basically a motorcycle which doesn't comes with any kind of electronics, in the sense it doesn't have traction control, no slipper clutch, no riding modes, no gimmicks. 650cc engine, that's all. If you ask me, the traction control would be nice. Otherwise, I really don't see a need for a riding mode and all. And yeah, slipper clutch, quick shifter, all those things are like add-on. So switches on the handlebar are basic. This is the high beam and the low beam. This is the caution lamp switch. This is the horn switch, which is like really troublesome for many owners as such. After using it for years, even I am an owner of the CBR 650R, and I find it difficult to use the horn switch because the horn and the indicator is ulta. That's one thing, and the horn is like least reachable. The design itself is upside down, so very difficult to use the horn. I think Honda doesn't want us to honk a lot in India. And on this side, you have the kill switch and the ignition. That's all, pretty basic. And when we turn on the dial, it doesn't have that much of a flashy dial and all. What you see over here is the tachometer. This is the speedometer, and on this side you have the time, the fuel meter, the total kilometer, 2 trip meters, running mileage, average mileage of the trip, and how much fuel used for the trip. That's all, very basic things. By the way, this motorcycle comes with ABS. That is the electronic package that you get with the motorcycle. Otherwise, pretty much basic motorcycle, that's what I can say. So let's go for a ride. By the way, this motorcycle has an Acra Powich exhaust, full system. Let's hit the highway. Okay, we are back on highway. We have a comparatively open road now, so let's pull it hard. That's CBR 650F for you. It has a very linear power. So basically this motorcycle doesn't have too much of power when you compare the other motorcycles in the 800cc or the 600 to 800cc segment. So very easy going motorcycle. You might have seen the typical inline 4 character. You'll get the actual power when you really go up to the higher revs. Practically, I'll say that if you wanted to use this motorcycle inside city, you can be in the 3rd gear or the 4th gear and just roam around at a speed of 30 to 40, no problem. The bottom end is nicely torquey for an inline 4. You don't have to shift a lot and all. And when it comes to highway, come to the 6th gear, be on a speed of 140 and all. You can aram se cruise, no problem. A really nice touring machine from an engine side. And if you feel the motorcycle is loud, definitely I'll say that it's better to have an aftermarket exhaust on this motorcycle. The reason is because motorcycle like this, the 650F or the 650R or the Z900, feels like an electric motorcycle when you come on the highway. You definitely don't get any feedback from the engine side in terms of sound. It almost feels like an electric motorcycle. So it's not just for you. I mean, people around you won't get to know that there is a fast motorcycle approaching you. That's one reason I wanted to upgrade an exhaust on my personal motorcycle, the CBR 650R. But even said that, you see, when I'm going in the speed of 80 or 90 or even at 100, there is very minimal sound from the exhaust side. That's Acra for you. Acra is like very sweet. It's not too loud. I have seen people using loud exhaust on this motorcycle. You can have that. I mean, it's an inline 4. Put an open pipe, you're good to go to make a lot of noise. I mean, it depends. Okay, I really personally love less sounding motorcycle when it is in lower revs and gives a very nice feel in the mid and the higher ranges. I don't want to make a lot of noise. A decent sound itself is enough for me. By the way, one problem with the exhaust is that this is not a 3-piece exhaust where you have the header pipes, the catalytic converter and the end can. So the stock comes in a 2-piece system. So if you have to change the exhaust, you have to completely remove the exhaust and go for a full system exhaust. The CAT is actually an integrated unit, that's the reason. So if you have to go for an aftermarket, yes, you have to go for a full system exhaust. Otherwise you have to cut the CAT and all, and that's not recommended. And with the Acra Powich, you don't need any fuel map on this one. So basically I think if you ask the previous owners itself, the motorcycle will actually get adjusted to the flow of the Acra Powich, so don't worry about it. So that's with the engine. And coming on to the ergonomics and all, this motorcycle is the entry-level sports touring motorcycle. That's what I'll say. Back in 2018, not in 2018, 2015 and all, this was the one which I was looking forward for, because this has the right sports touring posture. The upper body is like slightly sporty, and if you want to ride the motorcycle really sporty, go a little backwards and you get it. I mean, really nice. And the lower body has a little bit of sportiness. So entirely it's that small sweetness of the sports touring, man. And in India you have very less options for sports touring. I don't know why people are not developing that taste on it. I know that many people are developing the taste now, but still in India we get very less sports touring motorcycle, especially in mid variants and all. And when it comes to suspension, brakes and all, the suspension is actually very nice. It is actually set to a softer side. It can take all bad roads and all, especially on highways when you have an really bumpy highway and all. This actually, the suspension will handles good. Only one thing is like, it comes with a normal suspension. So the thing is like, the front is a little bit heavy. You'll get to know only when you start riding a motorcycle with an upside down forks. Otherwise you won't even get to know that the front is a little heavy. And the second thing is like, the front suspension travel is little less. I don't know, it's because of the suspension travel or because the suspension is soft. It hits the bottom really easily, especially if you are running through bad roads and high speeds and all. It just gives the tuck feel. And coming onto the clutch and all, the clutch is onto a moderate side, neither too soft not too hard. This doesn't comes with the slipper clutch, and the gearing is like very nice. The gearbox is ultimate. Come to a Honda, you'll get to know that the gearbox of Honda is ultimately precise and very nice to use. especially on sports motorcycles. And coming to the brakes, I'll say that it has moderate brakes. You might think that I'm telling everything moderate, not just like that. Personally, I feel the brakes are kind of okay, that's all I'll say. And I've been criticized by my friends for saying that, because many people tell that the CBR braking is good. Personally, on my CBR, I use EBC brake pads to make the brakes better. The reason is because I ride a lot of liter class motorcycles nowadays, so I have that feel of that highly punchy and highly sharp brakes from the liter class, like this 1000 or the Ducatis. So coming from that point of view, the brakes feel spongy, it takes time. But if you're coming from a 300cc, then I'll say that this has very good braking bite. But still, the motorcycle is a little heavy. I feel that changing it to an EBC brake pads or better brake setup will definitely give this motorcycle a better braking feel. So as I mentioned, the motorcycle is slightly heavy. You'll get to know that only when you are pushing the motorcycle from the parking lot. It's not too heavy, but still it's heavy. It's like around 220 kgs and all. 220 kg is kind of heavy in this segment, because you have the Street Triple R or the Street Triple RS. The RS is more costly, but the Street Triple R or Street Triple S is the version that you can look in the same segment, or the Z900, the Z800. So out of all those motorcycles, the CBR is the most heaviest one. At least I don't know about the on-paper values, but after riding the motorcycle, the CBR 650F is the most heaviest to ride. This heaviness is actually very nice when you are out on the highway, because it gives a lot of stability when you go for highway tours and all. Basically, you can cruise at a speed of 140, no problem. Even you can cruise in 160. That's not an issue at all. This is the first big bike feel, proper big bike feel that I experienced, because I remember riding this motorcycle. I had shifted the motorcycle to the 6th gear at a speed of 60 and all. And I remember the motorcycle actually pulled really nice till 180 or something. It's an inline 4 motorcycle, so you don't have that gap of riding it in these speed, in these gear and all. We have an open road. Let's try it out. You get a 180 or a 200 pretty fast. I don't really say pretty fast. If you compare it with the Street Triple, then yeah, it is slightly slower, but you'll get the 200 km/h mark in much faster rate. And after that, I think this can go to 220 or 230. Decent enough. If you want to cross the 200 km barrier, you'll get it. That's what I want to say. And to talk about the other things when it comes to the city riding aspects, yes, this motorcycle has a little bit of heating issues. Like again, if you're coming from a 300cc, you'll feel a lot of heat, and if you're looking down from a Ducati or a later class motorcycle, then definitely it's not that bad. I said Ducati because Ducatis are 2-cylinder or V4 and all, so that kind of configuration emits a lot of heat. Inline 4s are much cooler. This thing is kind of okay. The Z800 actually has a better heat management system. That's what I personally feel. And the ground clearance is like kind of okay or bad. I know how to express that, because 130 to 135 mm is the ground clearance, I believe. And it is just a matter of getting used to it. Don't shy away from any of the super bikes thinking that you have lesser ground clearance. If you are just thinking like that, you will never make it to any sports motorcycles or naked streets. You definitely have to go for any ADV. So when we combine these two, like the heating and the ground clearance, it is just a matter of living with it, that's all. And again, to talk about the ownership, actually when this motorcycle was in sale, this was selling it for around 9 to 9.5 if I'm not wrong. And in second-hand market, this has a really good resale value, so you won't find that so cheap. And when it comes to the ownership, that's where the Honda outshines every other motorcycle. This motorcycle goes for service once in 6,000 kilometers. That means if you are riding 12,000 kilometers in a year, you go for 2 service, and 1 service will cost you something like 3,000 to 3,500. That means in a year, max 7,000 rupees for the service, which is like a really nice deal. I mean, it's so pocket friendly to maintain. And the other maintenance what you have to do is like chain maintenance, man. It will cost you like 200 or 250 rupees once in 700 to 1000 kilometers. You do the chain loop in 700 kilometers if it is in wet condition, and you do a chain loop in 1000 kilometers if it's in dry condition like this. So maintenance is very less, and the tire life is like, it depends on what kind of tire you use. A decent tire life will be something like 12k, that is fine. If you have to go for a highly performance oriented tire, then I'll say that yes, you'll get a tire life of 6,000 to 8,000. So let's come to a conclusion, like should you look onto this kind of a motorcycle? So before that, I'll explain you what all things you miss from a 650R. So obviously the first thing is 650R is more sporty. Yes, this one is sports touring. You get a more upright riding posture, and on the 650R the seat is much harder. That is designed for high speed, especially on track. Even if you see the Honda website, the 650R is actually advertised like a track motorcycle. So 650F is actually tourer oriented motorcycle, definitely a good motorcycle for touring with your pillion as well. The seat is more cushioned, that's what I feel from my 650R. This is more cushioned, and on the 650R you get a different look. I don't say a better look and all, because it depends on you. I mean, some people like the F look, some people like the R looks, so it depends on you. What you really misses out is the traction control, and on my motorcycle I have the sleeper clutch and I have installed a quick shifter. On this one you cannot have a quick shifter because there is no coupler. So since it has a sleeper clutch, the clutch feel is ultimately light on that motorcycle. Mainly what I miss is the gear position indicator, that's all, because it is slightly harder for you to judge which gear you are in, especially on inline 4. Everything's almost sounds same. So a gear position indicator is something which I miss. Otherwise you don't really miss a lot from the CBR 650R, considering that this is much affordable. So let's come to the conclusion of this video, like whether this motorcycle fits you or not. If you're looking for a city riding super bike, I'll say that it's a decent motorcycle. The thing is, like, it doesn't tear your pocket in terms of maintenance. You can easily ride this motorcycle. You have to deal with the heating, you have to deal with the ground clearance. Our taller bumps will scrape the underbelly, especially if you have the stock exhaust. Yes, that will scrape off. But a really nice motorcycle to ride with. Once the motorcycle is moving, you don't have to really worry about the heating issues and all. And when it comes to the highway, absolutely brilliant motorcycle for touring. You can have a top box setup and things if you would like to. You have to go for aftermarket options, but I'll say that you can have saddlebags and go for highway tours, especially with pillion. It's a very good motorcycle for touring with pillion. And when it comes to the track, I'll say that this motorcycle is not exactly a good track motorcycle. It's kind of an okay motorcycle. Even I'll say that the 650R is also not a great track motorcycle, even though it is advertised in the same format. What I'll say that go for a Street Triple S or a Street Triple R or RS, whatever you want. RS is more costly, that's why I don't include it in this comparison. Even you can look forward for the Kawasaki Z800 as a track motorcycle. Don't really think about off-road capability on this motorcycle because it's heavy, ground clearance is less. You can take it through slush and all, but the motorcycle is not really meant for that. So that's my take on the Honda CBR 650F, a long time motorcycle that I really wanted to try out for a longer time. This motorcycle is one main reason why I bought my 650R, because I planned to buy this motorcycle and the new version came in, the R version, then I went for that. And I'm really happy for this motorcycle to motivate me to step into the superbike segment. So I hope this video is helpful for you, and as always, show some love in the form of likes and comments. See you in the next video. Until then, bye bye.